Hey guys, it's Nina, and today I'm going to be bringing you my June favorites. So this month I decided to do a favorites video instead of a wrap-up because although I read 4 books this month, which is pretty awesome, they were all Percy Jackson books. Instead of giving you a Percy-filled wrap-up, I decided I'd just kind of talk about those and talk about some other things as well. As I mentioned last month, this is my first time rereading any of these since like middle school, elementary school, and this is my favorite series of all time, and it was really great to reread them and like affirm that it's still my favorite series, I guess. And it was especially interesting to see like what I remembered, what I didn't, and a lot of these books, like I remembered parts of it, and then as I read I would remember more and more, like, oh wait, that's what happened next, or like this is what happens in this book. And it was just really interesting because there's so many like quotes that I reblog all the time on Tumblr, or pictures that I've seen like fan art of all the time, but I forget like where in the books they happen. And it was just really interesting to see those in context again, and it was just so much more emotional because I'm so attached to that imagery or those quotes, and just to see them was just so amazing. So just briefly running through them, Sea of Monsters I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. It was really good, but it wasn't that like I can't put it down kind of feeling that I need to give a book a 5 stars. Then we have The Titan's Curse, which I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. I love this book because Nico, like you get to meet Nico in this book, and Nico is my favorite character like ever, so that was great. And also just so many iconic things happened in this book that I'd completely forgotten about, or at least completely forgotten that they occurred in this book. Like we've got the dam scene, we've got so much with Zoe, we've got pigs that I can't explain. There's just so much iconic stuff that happens in this book. Then we have the Battle of the Labyrinth, which I gave a 5 stars. This one just had an amazing plot, and it was so fast paced, and so much happens in that maze. I got it. I caught it. We also get to see Percy and Annabeth's relationship develop a little bit more, which I am a sucker for. I loved it. And also, like, in A Titan's Curse, we get to see a lot of side characters be introduced, but they start to play a bigger role in this book, and you get to see their characterization more, and you get more attached to them, and I just really appreciated that. And also so many Nico feels. So many Nico feels. And then we have The Last Olympian, which I of course gave 5 out of 5 stars. This was my favorite book of the series growing up, and it still is. And I think it's my favorite because of just the emotional level. Like, you've made it to the last book, you've made it through 5 books with these characters, and you're so attached to them, and so much happens to those characters in this book, and it's so character driven. It's not really that plot driven. Like, there's great plot points that happen, and so many, again, iconic scenes and iconic imagery and quotes, but it really is the characters that is why I love this book so much. So that was a very brief recap of my experience rereading these. If you want to know my full thoughts on them, I did do Goodreads reviews for all of them, which were like slightly longer than what I just said, and I will leave those all down below if you're interested. So the next thing that I want to talk about is music. I listened to a lot of music this month, obviously, because I always do, but my favorite standout song, like by far this month, was Heathens by 21 Pilots. This song is going to be on the Suicide Squad album, and I am so excited to hear the rest of that album because the rest of it hasn't dropped yet, but they've dropped a few singles from various artists, and Heathens is just amazing. I've been listening to it non-stop. It's just so dark and so 21 Pilots, and I love it. And also, I know most of you are aware of this because we've talked about it on Twitter, but the Heathens music video dropped this month, and that was also amazing, and I will link that down below because it's just so beautiful. Next up is my favorite movie of this month, and that is going to be Finding Dory, of course. I saw Finding Dory the day it came out with my little sister, and it was just so great because Finding Nemo is actually the first movie that I ever remember seeing in theaters, so it was just really cool to see the sequel to that 13 years later in the movie theater, and just so crazy to be there like with my little sister, and it was just so great. So this movie was great. I gave it like an 8 out of 10 stars, maybe a 7. It was really good. There were a few too many flashbacks for my taste, but other than that, it was amazing. It had a great heart, it was really funny, the animation was on point, of course, it's Pixar, how could it not be? And it did a really good job of just being a sequel. Like, it paid homage to Finding Nemo in good ways, and it also had references and all that you would expect, but at the same time it wasn't riding on that success. It wasn't a cash grab. It was its own standalone movie that does good on its own, and I just really appreciated that because that's something that you very rarely see with sequels. And overall, it was just a great movie for kids and adults, and I completely recommend seeing it if you haven't already for some reason. Next up, I'm going to share some of my favorite trailers because I watch a lot of trailers. It happens. First up is going to be the teaser trailer for Moana. This is going to be the next Disney princess movie, and it looks so good. I was like highly anticipating this teaser for so long. Like if you go through my Twitter, it's bad. I was so highly anticipating this trailer, and it was really cute. It was really short, but like that's what you expect. It was a teaser, the first teaser that we got, and it just had a really cute vibe. I loved the animation. I'm so excited for this movie. There's not too much to say about it because it is just a teaser, but the music sounds great. There was like a little bit of music in the background, and Lin-Manuel Miranda is writing the songs for this musical, so I'm so excited for that, and you can hear his voice in the trailer, and I just have no chill when it comes to Moana. I know a lot of people are excited for this movie because of the beachy feel, and like I am excited for that part. I'm not exactly sure where it's set, but I am excited for that representation. But I'm also just excited because Moana looks like an actual human being, kind of. Not exactly, but she's curvier, she has big eyebrows, her hair is like realistic, and I'm just so excited for that because we don't have any princesses that are a bigger shape. Like Moana isn't even big, but all the other princesses are like sticks. They are the same exact like shape and size, and Moana's a little bit curvier, and it's beautiful, and also her eyebrows are just my favorite thing ever. And I will probably do a full video on this at some point because I am that excited for this movie. The next trailer that I want to talk about is The Space Between Us, and this stars Asa Butterfield, which if you guys don't know is my favorite actor of like all time. I guess I should go through the movies that he's been in because he's not a household name, but he's actually going to be Jacob in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. He was also Ender in Ender's Game and Hugo in the Hugo Cabret movie, and I know him first off from Merlin, which is like my favorite TV show ever, so I'm a huge fan of his. But this is a space movie. It's basically this group of astronauts go to Mars to live there, and while they're there, one of them gets pregnant and has a baby, and then that child grows up on Mars and lives on Mars, and then it's about him coming back to Earth, or not really back to Earth, but coming to Earth and just figuring stuff out. And it looks really, really good. It looks really funny, but also like has a lot of heart, and also Asa Butterfield, so obviously I will be watching it, but it actually looks really good even besides him being in it. So I just kind of wanted to give that movie a shout out, and I will leave the trailer for that down below, of course. And the last thing I want to talk about is my favorite event, I guess, of this month, because this month there was a BookTube meetup in New York City in Central Park, and I went to it, and it was really cool. So basically, Emma from Emma's Books, Monica from She Might Be Monica, and Sarah from Sarah Without an H, or Sarah with an H. I think it's without an H. I'm horrible. But these lovely ladies organized a Bookternet meetup in Central Park, so it was like booktubers, bookstagrammers, and book bloggers, etc. And it was just really fun, and I'm really proud of myself that I actually went. And it was just a fun day. Like, it was really chill, and it was cool to meet other booktubers and bookstagrammers because I haven't actually met any booktubers in person before, so that was really cool. And also meeting Emma Books was awesome because I'm subscribed to her, and it's kind of like, oh my god, you're a real person. You have legs. I've never seen your legs before, which sounds really creepy. But it was cool like standing next to her and being like, I am your height, this is awesome, because you don't think about height and things like that when you're watching someone's like upper half on the internet. So this is about time when I would show you guys some like cool footage that I took during this, but me being the idiot that I am, I didn't take any. But Emma from Emma's Books made a whole like vlog compilation thing, and I will link that down below because I'm in it, and that's really sweet. You can see my face. Awesome, I've made it to the big leagues, guys. I've made it. But yeah, the day was fun. It was cool to meet other booktubers and people who do the same thing as me. I think that was really cool and gratifying to see, like, actually meet people in person, because I love interacting with you guys and that's my favorite part of this, but it's also cool to see people actually in person and be like, you are an actual concrete human being. I don't know, I'm rambling, but it was cool. So that is it for my favorites video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know down below what you've been up to reading wise, favorites wise, I don't know, but that is it. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe, and I will see you guys later with another video. Bye!